prevents your body from absorbing whatever nutrient you do put in your body. So it has, in that sense, a double negative effect. By cleansing yourself, detoxifying the body in all ways that you can, then you give your body the opportunity to absorb whatever nutrients you are putting in, and you will find very rapidly the body can heal itself from just about anything if it simply has no toxins to deal with and is given the proper nutrition. Then it will work as it is designed to work. But generally, as we've said, lighter in that sense might be best for your body, and not as much is best for your body, but trust your body consciousness to tell you what it feels that it needs at any given moment, and don't judge it. At the same time, we would suggest you do whatever process is necessary to be in touch with your own psychology, your own beliefs, and your own definitions about why you may feel at any given moment that you wish or crave a certain thing, to make sure that it is your body consciousness telling you your body needs it, as opposed to your psychology just simply saying, I want it because I'm lacking something else. And this is just acting as a substitute for that thing I will not give myself. You see the difference?
Yes.
Does this answer the question sufficiently?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right. And, if I may,
please.
One of the things that you also must be aware of, since you brought up the idea of smoking, no matter what it is, again, and the reason to do this more intermittently rather than absolutely regularly, is that smoke, even from that, taken into the body that way, will dehydrate and add toxins into the body that must then be gotten rid of. You follow me?
Yes, I do.
So, that's why, in moderation, in that sense, is best when coupled with a ritual that allows you to use the information so that you're not constantly dehydrating the body or pumping toxins into it to a level that it doesn't have the ability to deal with efficiently. You follow me?
Clear.
All right. Thank you.
My next question is, if we were living in a world of one love, such as your civilization does,
yes,
would the idea of male and female kind of fall to the wayside in the way we interact with each other as far as expressing our love and gratitude?
That depends.
Be pretty equal?
It depends.
Okay.
That will not necessarily become a homogeneous reality for everyone. In other words, some individuals may wish to maintain, for a variety of experiential reasons, the idea of that kind of definition, and other individuals may not. In our society, you will actually find that it runs the gamut, as you say. There are individuals who have, in your estimation, lost all sense of, or all perception of, the concept of gender identity. And yet there are also individuals who have maintained that, because it simply serves them to have an experience in that direction. So it really is that when you arrive at that state, you can do whatever you wish. It's not that that state requires that those things disappear. It's that that state allows you to determine whether or not it's necessary for you. And then choose accordingly and experience yourself accordingly. Do not necessarily assume that certain things must go away just because you arrive in a certain state. The idea of gender expression in and of itself is not necessarily an indication of negativity or polarity in that sense. You follow me?
Yes.
All right. Does that answer the question?
Yes, it does.
It's really up to what the individual wishes to experience. That's really the simplest way to put it.
Yep. Please.
As far as Bashar, as far as the supposed Earth changes and the light and photons and
yes,
those kind of things coming into our environment within the next 5 years.
Well, you're already experiencing many different kinds of transformations on your planet, geologically, climactically. Yes, of course, you're in the middle of it already.
As far as what to expect, or
expect nothing.
Okay.
As we said,
drop
ourselves. Expectation.
Okay.
As far as so-called preparing, again, drop expectation.
And just allow it to come into.
If you know that you are being of the vibration that is true for you, then it doesn't really matter what happens in the world. You know your synchronicity will put you where you need to be, when you need to be there, and that you will experience it in a way that will always be of benefit to you, regardless of what's going on around you. Things could be falling apart all around you, within inches of you, it won't touch you in a negative way if you stay in the state of reality that you prefer to be. Then you will only get a positive or beneficial effect from it and be able to perhaps assist others who may not be having such an easy time of it. You follow me?
Yeah.
So the idea of having to prepare for it, in a sense, is not really the approach that allows you to detach from expectation. The idea of simply being in the state you prefer will take care of anything that comes your way. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
This is really simple physics. You cannot experience what you are not the vibration of. Make sense?
Yeah.
Now, you may have a collective agreement on Earth. You may generally agree that you will observe certain things, you will experience certain things, but again, its effect upon you will only be determined by the state of being you choose to be in. So even though you may participate in a certain kind of event, it doesn't mean it has to impact you negatively, even though it may impact everyone else around you that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then by your example, others can learn that it doesn't have to impact them negatively either. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does this help?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And you good day.
It seems like at what is being called fourth density, you know what you need to know when you need to know it.
Yes.
And so I wonder, I would prefer actually to not ever ask any more questions.
You
Are
go
there
right
ever...
ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, it doesn't matter whether you do or not.
Right.
And the idea simply is to trust your own synchronicity. You all have the ability to access all the information you need all the time. Yeah. You don't have to ask the question in that sense, although sometimes, depending upon your own process and what's needed for you, sometimes asking the question can actually trigger the answer within you. It just depends on how your psychology works. It's all right to ask the question. At the same time, you can know that you have the ability to download the answer. In a sense, what we say sometimes is the question contains the answer. For if you did not have an ability to understand the answer, you probably wouldn't have had the awareness to even know there was a question. Because it's two sides of the same coin. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
The fact that you are even aware that there is a question to ask means the answer lies somewhere within you.
Yep.
So all you have to do in asking the question is then take the little bent up question mark and straighten it out into an exclamation point. You follow me?
Yes.
So you can trust your own synchronicity that way. At the same time, if you feel like you need to ask a question,
Right.
don't judge yourself for asking it.
Right.
Know that it's simply part of your process.
Right. There's no inherent need, though, for questions. They're not required.
Well, let me put it this way.
Mm-hmm.
What will never disappear is curiosity. So in that sense, you could say there is always a perpetual why. Because that lures you into more mystery and lures you into more expansiveness. In that sense, that question will never go away. But in terms of the way in which we think you meant it, specifically, no, you don't necessarily always have to ask little detailed questions to understand that you actually have the bigger picture within you already.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Bashar,
Yes!
I don't want to assume, so I would like to ask you, are you familiar with what we are doing in regards to the internet right now, us specifically our company?
Define.
We are launching a channel of sorts, like television channel, but it's going to be on the internet.
Oh, all right.
We expect to have millions and millions of viewers.
All right, although no expectation is required.
Yes.
Do it because that's what you love to do.
Yes.
With the understanding that anything you do will always have an audience if it's something that's truly representative of your joy.
Yes.
Because if there were no audience, then you would not be inspired to do the thing you wish to do.
Yes.
Again, it's a two-sided coin. You cannot have someone who wishes to give information without, in the same reality, having someone who wishes to receive that information.
So speaking for myself, Britt, and I think Ace and many others in this room,
Yes.
following our highest joy would be sharing your teachings with as many people as we possibly could. Is this something that you are okay with?
Information itself, in general, as principles, is available to everyone.